y'all. Trey Gang back, y'all. Trey Gang back. You know what I'm talking about? Oh man, we got 24 people in this joint. Mainly, can we get 24 likes in this joint? Cause I told y'all when I said, when I go live, if you join my live, I need the likes go along with the views. You know what I'm talking about? Cause you know Trey Gang got some tea, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And check this out. Trey Gang finna get straight to it. Alright. Let me blow it up on the big screen. I gotta put a disclaimer out there too now. Disclaimer for use at education purpose use only. All rights, image, music clip, and other material belong to state space only, and we don't claim ownership. Alright, I gotta put that disclaimer out there. Hold on, let me put that the scream up there, right? Alright, we got the scream up there. So if you was in tuning in Trey Gang Live for Trey Gang had a milk breakdown, you know what I'm saying? Talking about, yeah, I'm gonna get you, nigga, you know what I'm talking about? Ain't got nothing to do with none of this shit. But alright. We are here for one purpose. We just some truth seeking people just wanna know about religions, you know what I'm saying, Illuminati, Freemasonry, New World Order, and trying to break the curse, and you know, stuff like that, right? So, well, if you tune in my last live, you know what this live finna be all about. Let's just expose what's really going on. That's Queen Elizabeth. If you know her nationality, and that's Queen Elizabeth. If you look at her hair, what color is her hair? And look how she in the royalty. And this is Jesus' mother. Look at Jesus' mother hair. Right? Notice they got a crown on top of her, but when it comes to Jesus' mother, look how they cover the hair. Alright. This for a prime example, right? Y'all would thumb me up if I show y'all if Queen Elizabeth got red hair. Keep this in mind, when I say Queen Elizabeth, it's multiple Queen Elizabeth. Like in the you know, y'all remember Queen Elizabeth that just recently died, you know what I'm saying? This is her family tree. All the way back. This how they can trace their family tree all the way down before Jesus. Before Jesus. Before Jesus, and get that understood. So, can I show y'all the propaganda, how the news, how Hollywood work, right? Y'all know, can you thumb me up if you know, yup, the Jews created Hollywood. Thumb me up right now. If we all know this, we grown, we were raised up off they cartoons. We watched the Tom Jerry, Tweety Bird. You remember the old cartoons? We growed up. Guess who wrote them? Jewish people. Came from what bloodline? This bloodline. So if you got Hollywood was created through her bloodline and other royal families, and they set up shop in the United States, Now you see why they would have a motive and be like, yeah. You say Jesus, you was the Virgin Mary, and Jesus was born. We can't let him be king too long. We're gonna overthrow him. And once we overthrow him, keep this in mind, red hair, pale face, right? This word, y'all know how you used to grow up and your mama used to play spades. Who was the Joker? Guess what the Joker looked like? Guess what the king, queen, and the jack look like? Look what they dress like. Don't Queen Elizabeth dress like how we play spades when it comes to the king and the queen? And you know what I'm saying? The jack and the 8. Alright. For a prime example, I just want y'all to look at it in our day form. Right? In our day form, just look at this as a murder that we're dealing with 2 cousins. This is her cousin. One got you got both of these is queen. She can't bury a child. That's why Queen Elizabeth never had a king. Think about that. Queen Elizabeth never had a queen, so they want y'all to believe she was a virgin. Just like the Virgin Mary. Right? You see the comparison? Oh, the Virgin Mary. God said he's gonna pregnate Mary and conceive a child, you know what I'm saying, to fulfill the prophecy. But she was like, well, look, we're gonna crucify this family dispute. Family dispute. You see it? So, check this out. Look at the motive. Y'all see this image? Can you agree? This is a white girl, blue-eyed, with red hair. This finna show you how much power that these people got over y'all. And this if you look at the Wendy's logo, y'all remember Wendy's? The goddamn fast food restaurant Wendy's? Ain't this the same image of Wendy's? Red hair, a little freckle face, but she ain't got freckles though. But she a redhead. And y'all remember that term, redneck? Now you know where the redneck come from. Guess where the redneck come from? So, check this out. This is Mary, the mother of Jesus, and she was the Queen of Scotland. Look, she was the queen. This Jesus' mother. This was Jesus' mother would have red hair. If Jesus' mother had red hair, and Trey can't show y'all old pictures of Mary holding the baby with red hair. So when you go back to the genealogy, of the red hair, and you know it's descended from Cain, and you think about the Philistines with David and Goliath. Shit. Shit. Watch this. Disagree with me. This the red hair. Yeah, Trey Gang, we see the red hair. Oh, okay. If you see the red hair, you see this the queenship. And they talking about Jesus' mother. She was the first queen of Scotland, and Elizabeth, the only second queen is England. If you a Christian, you need to hear this and check this out. The reason why I say you need to hear this, go to your pastor and just ask a question. Just ask a question. Just ask a question, be like, look, I was raised up about Jesus' mama was named Mary. And God said she gonna I'm a virgin. And God said, yeah, I know you're a virgin now, but I'ma pregnate you right quick, and I'ma send my son through your lineage. You know what I'm saying? And they were to save people. So when you question your pastor, if you a church going person, if you ain't even no church going person, because all the church going people, we just don't go to church like how we supposed to, and I see why. Cause check this out. The story that we was raised up on, yeah, you know, Mary had a virgin birth, and Joseph, you know what I'm saying, had accept, you know what I'm saying, that she was a virgin and she finna have a baby, and this baby gonna save the whole world. This Jesus finna save the whole world. So if this Jesus finna save the whole world, watch this. If it was true, now you see why King Mary, check this out. I gotta get rid of Jesus, cause in Lucifer terms, we want to be the most high of God. That was their whole agenda at the time. And check this out. When they come to Mary, Mary don't wear no crown. But she a queen. And she will have a crown on her head as well. So if you look at it like this here, King James is her cousin. And the cousin of Mary, which is Jesus' mother. Now you see why King James came out with the version that everybody said, believe in the King James version, that this the truth. That's all. Let's keep going. Elizabeth, Queen of England, and her cousin, Mary, Queen of Scotland. Check this out, the two queens never met in person, but their relationship conducted through letters. Cause that's how they would communicate. Y'all remember back in those days, they had to send the messages. It's like the postman. You know what I'm talking about? Just like the bill collector send you a bill in the mail, That's why they said, yeah, they never met in person, but they were sending letters to each other. Don't you know, like, when you were coming up, if you were like an 80 baby or a 70 baby, you know what I'm saying? You know, you got people in Chicago or Detroit or Florida or California or something, you know what I'm saying? And you could, call these folk because you already know what I'm saying. You know, this is what these last folk were known to be at. You know what I'm saying? It's simple, right? It's simple, right? So watch this. If you got Queen Elizabeth beefing with Mary, thumb me up if you see this different now. Jesus came from Mary bloodline. Also, Queen Elizabeth bloodline. When it come to who gonna be inheriting of the throne, if God say, I'ma bring Jesus through your lineage, Mary, and not the Queen Elizabeth. And Elizabeth had to do the same thing that Esau did to his brother. Whoa, 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 whoa. We talking about red hair family. If I showed you Queen Elizabeth just by the hair alone, right? And I said, y'all see the red hair on Mary? And you look at the hair on Elizabeth? Let's go to it. Hold up. Think about Esau. Hold on, y'all. I got to find that junk. Matter of fact, I go to Jesus. I go to her. Matter of fact, I go to Jesus right here. Man, what the hell? If you go to John the Baptist, can you agree? Look what color John the Baptist hair gonna be. I know you're gonna think brown, but it's red. It's red. But don't he look like Jesus? Don't he look like Jesus? Hold up. Hold up. This Joseph. This supposed to be the daddy. Look what Joseph said. Now check this out. Ain't this a redhead baby? Uh-oh. When the Bible says you can't change a leopard from his spots. Remind y'all when they said, man, you can't change a spot from a leopard, right? Look. Look. Why they got Jesus as a redhead baby? Right? You wanna know why they got Jesus as a redhead baby? When you think about Mary, look. When you think about Esau redheaded. Guess who you finna trace Esau back to? Once you trace Esau back to who? Look. This is Jesus' granddaddy was married to who? This come back to the Ethiopians, right? You see that brown bronze? Then in the Bible, then it said, man, Jesus' skin was bronze and his feet was like burning brass. Do you see that image? That's why they got their head covered up, because they don't want you to see the afro. But everybody know like this here, if a female got an afro, like how the movies that we growed up on, like the 60s and 70s old school movie, if you put a hoodie on the afro, look what it'll look like. You would never get this image if she had braids, and cause you would see braids coming down and all this, but she got an afro. And if you look, this would be Jesus' grandmother. Look, this would be Jesus' grandmother. She the mother of Mary. She the mother of Mary. But look, if you look at the image, do you see the difference? Nah, look how Mary looked like more like a white woman, but the mama looked more bronze. And look, So, to make a long story short, when they came out with the Jesus, how would Jesus' hair would turn red? In early depictions, all because the cousin was beefing with Mary, with Queen Elizabeth, because that's where you get the red hair family from. And when you think about Esau, it's all about the birthrights. When it comes to Esau, remember, because that's all it's about, the birthrights, right? So if they come from the red hair family, why do you think if they depicted Jesus with red hair in early depiction, you see that, damn, the cousin murdered Jesus, which is that would be her cousin. You know what I'm saying? And they overthrown her on the king, cause Jesus supposed to be the Son of God. And they killed him, crucified him, and said, yeah, we're gonna depict him as a red-haired child. And years later, they were like, nah, we gotta switch the story. They say he blue-eyed and blonde hair. Cause we don't want the public to know where he really come from. Cause this where you finna get Jesus from. Watch this. Check this out, y'all. This Saint Joseph, right? You mean to tell me this Saint Joseph this would be Jesus depicted as a redhead baby? And Joseph is related to Queen Elizabeth. So if Joseph related to Queen Elizabeth and they paint Jesus as a redhead, so now you see why you heard of the story Bloody Mary. It was revenge. They ain't gonna tell y'all about the true history. And they say Saint Joseph with the infant Jesus, and this was depicted in 1635. I'm glad that you said it was depicted in 1635. Cause when Christopher Columbus discovered America, so when Christopher Columbus discovered America in the 1400s, now you see why you got the King James Version that's related to Queen Elizabeth, and this how they were depicting Jesus, because if they knew Jesus is going to be the Son of God, right? The Son of God. That's why they had to predict him in the beginning after their likeness. After they likeness. Hold up. Watch how they screwed up. This Joseph, this supposed to be the daddy. If you find out when Jesus was born and how old his mother is, and if you look at that baby daddy, it look like an old man, ain't it? They look like an old ass man, and if he got white hair like this, he got to be at least 60 and 70 to be full blown white woolly hair, all this shit. Right? So that means if she just conceived the baby Jesus, look how old he was. So that make it look like, oh man, Trey Gang, you on to something. Cause they're gonna show you old men been sleeping with teenagers, not just only teenagers, but Queen Elizabeth was like, no, the son gonna come through my lineage, not you, Mary. And Mary like, no, God bless me with Jesus. So when she did what she did with Bloody Mary and they went to war, guess who won? Guess who won with the hairstyle? Queen Elizabeth. You see it now? Do you see it now? This is like, look. This is what I'm finna do. Watch this, y'all. So check this out. If you look at it like this here, they murdered Jesus. The people that murdered Jesus was two family members that was royalty. One queen got to send through the throne. It's two queens, cause the first vote was for Mary. That's why you got in Jerusalem they praise Mary, like the Virgin Mary. You remember that story? But like the Virgin Mary. Yeah, this is Virgin Mary, and they praised the Virgin Mary because they were like, yeah, she never had sex with no human flesh, and God chose her to have Jesus through the virgin death. And what a coincidence! Elizabeth died of a virgin and said she never conceived. But she in the throne, living like the Most High, with jewels, crowns, sapphires, gold, silver, all on the body, and don't have a child of her own, and she a virgin too. but never conceived a child. Never conceived a child. Who is cursed? And when Mary conceived the child, she killed the child. And when she killed the child, guess who was in Jesus' spot? King Henry, King Andrew, red-haired people. Because if they would have never killed Jesus, then we would have seen Jesus. We would have seen Jesus on TV instead of Queen Elizabeth. Just imagine if Queen Elizabeth never murdered Mary, firstborn child, there was going to be kings over the world. Come on, bro. I'm seeing the playbook. I'm seeing the playbook. Watch this. Check this out. All right. You went through this. This why it's finna go back to Bathsheba. Bathsheba was an Israelite. She was a queen. Check this out. If you still thinking that the 12 tribes and some of these people was black, man, you better read your Bible again and check this out. Look, breast exposed, pink nipple, white cheek. If you look at their hair, and it's a darker red, like a auburn red. All right, check this out. Look at this Bathsheba. She was an Israel queen. She was the wife of who? Look who she was the wife of who and became the wife of who next? David. Hold on, matter of fact, let me do it like this. Man, let's go to Delilah. Now you see this image? Beautiful. Beautiful. Look what time this was. Delilah. Guess who Delilah was? Bam. She was loved by Samson. Guess who Samson was? A redhead. To make my point across, let's talk about redheads and let's expose them. Thumb me up right now and say, Trey Game, damn, you talking about redheads. Let's talk about the redhead, because I know what the Bible said about Esau and them. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I can show you right here. Esau right here. Let's watch this. Nah, ain't gonna let me play.
They didn't get along. They actually started fighting before they were born. Then during birth, Esau came out first, but Jacob was holding on to his heel. That's not normal. And they even look different. The Bible says Esau's body was covered in so much red hair, it was almost like he had clothes on. Jacob's skin was smooth. Well, they got even more different as they grew up. Esau hunted animals.
So keep this in mind. If they was twins, right? Y'all know twins is identical. So that means one kept their red hair and wore their hair a while, but the other one was clean cut shave. So when you be clean cut shave, right? You know what I'm talking? Boy, this shit crazy. Shit. Look how many. Check this out. I know a couple of white girls that was in the neighborhood, bad girl, and they had red hair. For the simple fact, like this, check this out. Can I show y'all this? This finna make sense, right? I'm finna show you how the Jews work and got us mind control. Oh, you see this? If you see this, right? Red hair. Think about Esau. Once you think about Esau with the red hair, right? And this going back to the royal family. Believe that. This the royal family. Royal family. If you got red hair, you got royal family in your look. Check this out. Boom. Look at her hair. Do you see her hair? That's her natural hair. Ain't this like an auburn red? But look, if you look at his hair, oh yeah, boom. You look at his hair, all right. This go back to Esau. To make a long story short, watch this. The Titanic, the red hair rose. Red hair. Whoa! The Titanic. What? Red hair. So when you think about Esau, you thinking about the battle, the men. Look at the women's. They beautiful too. That's why I was like, man, look, all races beautiful. When they would try to say, yeah, you know, black is beautiful, black is beautiful. White beautiful. Red hair is beautiful. I don't look at race like damn ugly motherfuckers, you know. No. It's always somebody fine in the race. Look, man, how many motherfuckers want to smash this little redhead chick that we all seen in the neighborhood? Come in the neighborhood, bam, smash her, bam. Next thing you know what I'm talking about? Look. This what I want to show y'all. Cause what I'm about to show y'all right here. Think about Noah. Ark. That's why you got the Titanic. And then look who she was in love with. Jack. Look who Jack looked like. Red hair, look who Jack looked like. Uh-oh. Is I'm preaching a little bit, gang? Is I'm preaching a little bit? Hold on, y'all. I gotta charge my other Hold on, y'all. Let me. Oh yeah, I'm glad I had charged that. Man, that jump about to cut off. Hold on. I ain't got my live chat up. All right. There we go. Ain't this a redhead chick? Just look. I love the Titanic. I remember when the Titanic came out, I used to be like, damn. Look. When you think about Jesus, damn, they try to depict Jesus was a redhead, But when Jesus got old, he had white hair. Like, why would Jesus would have white hair at the age of 33? At the age of 33, think about that. Why would he have white woolly hair at the age of 33? He's still a young buck. Hold on. To make a long story short, this why the Jews run the world. This one finna get it. This what happened. When Jesus was born, everybody knew that Jesus is the man and he's on the way. So guess what Queen Elizabeth had to do? She couldn't bury a child. She couldn't even bury a child to fill that prophecy. But guess what? Her cousin finna fill that prophecy because she finna have Jesus. So guess what? She finna get mad. And guess what she finna do? Plot to kill Jesus. That's what... So, to keep this a cover up, she finna send a letter to Herod, right? And say, yeah, kill Jesus. That's how the men from the east came and said, hey, you pregnant? Cause we come to her to see the king, and the whole time they was coming to, you keep this in mind, they came to who? The three kings, the wise men, and asked, who? Is this the king of the Jews? They came from Afghanistan. So look, that's why Mary flee. Do this make sense, gang, when I say this? Is that the real reason why Mary fled Bethlehem? Cause she was fleeing from her cousin? Cause her cousin was sending troops after her? Shit. If you a Christian, that's finna ring a bell like a crack pipe. They just like smoking a crack pipe for the first time and got really high and like, damn, this, you ain't lying about that. You ain't lying about that, Trey Gang. Matter of fact, the Bible ain't lying about it. So, this show you how much Queen Elizabeth got power. She could tell you about the Titanic. That's why movie producer will show you a red, white. She stole the show. Redhead chick, white broad. Stole the show because she played the shit out that role of the Titanic. Look at her. She beautiful. And then look who playing Jack. Jack, right? It was a scene all about Jack, I got to save you off the boat and we ain't go drown and all this. But don't you know what the real story behind this boat? Because it wasn't no slave on this boat, none but rich people. They didn't show you the Ethiopians that was on the boat. Yeah. Ethiopian. Look it up. Look it up. I'm just trying to show you our comparison. Like this here, right? Queen Elizabeth had red hair. With red hair. Her cousin Mary had what hair? What color was Mary hair? So now you see how back in those days we gotta paint Jesus' head. He was a redhead. And then later on centuries, they were like, oh yeah, Jesus had woolly hair. Oh, he had woolly hair. And then centuries later, oh, it was woolly white hair. So how would he have an afro? Cause everybody know how black people hair, right? And this how you can identify. Don't y'all know we got a little Ethiopian in us? Man, bro. This shit so crazy, gang. This shit so crazy. This shit so crazy. Thinking, this what I'm finna do right now. This what I'm finna do right now, gang. This is the reason why I still got stuck it on her. This is why I want to show y'all the redhead. You see the redhead? Now y'all see how when you go back to the Bible, you think about David and Goliath. Goliath got killed. Goliath was the redhead giant. Right? When it come to Queen Elizabeth, when it was about the birthrights, about Esau and Jacob's, who won the birthright? The redhead. Hold on. So now you finna see how the Bible works now. Oh, damn, Trey Gang, what the fuck? Redhead? Queen Elizabeth done won over Mary, her cousin. So now, since she overthrown Mary of being the queen, she could predict the characters in the movie now. Since she the queen, right, of Rome and England and redheads. Right? Watch this shit. This Jesus granddaddy. Look at that skin tone. Right? You see it. Look at the hair. You see that? No straight hair, no white people. All right? Once you go to Jesus, you got Iranian features. But notice he got straight hair. But notice in the Bible they said he got woolly hair. Look at it like this here. Jesus had woolly hair like we do. Right? We do. Queen Elizabeth was like what she is. We just gonna say when he had woolly hair, it was white. To make him look like he was an old ass man or something. Ain't no 33-year-old got white hair. They even, know what I'm saying, predicted Moses with an afro with white woolly hair, because they never show you with Moses with a perm in his head, right? So why would they would show Jesus with a perm in his head? You want to know why? Because he got Iranian. He got the Iranian features. And if you look at his hair and look back at this family tree, he got Ethiopian. So that means, his hair wasn't even straight. So if his hair wasn't even straight, then that's why we had to paint the sun around the straight hair. Because if you know what art really is and know what the truth is, the whole time he had an afro. So if I tell you, look, y'all see they got the sun behind Jesus and it's like an afro. If you go to his grandmama, don't she got an afro up under the hoodie? So that means this what the grandmama would look like. Study his granddaddy, and then you would see why Islam, Iran, talked about Jesus' granddaddy and his mother, and that's how they knew he was the son of God. So check this out. Make a long story short, when they came from the east and said, yeah, is he the one that's going to be the son of God? Because we know about his birth. We done followed the eastern star. Guess who y'all remember that? When they said they found Jesus by following the east star? The east star, right? The east star, right? Thumb me up. When you read it in the Bible, this is tradition. In the Bible, the wise men said they followed the east star. I ain't gonna say no more till I get the lights up. Cause I'm finna crush the game with this one. I'm finna crush the game. Listen, y'all. And that's how Jesus was and that's how everybody was notified that damn, it's a Messiah about to come. Right? This for the Christians. If you a Christian, you supposed to be saying hallelujah in the chat right now. Just because. Look. You see those Iranian features. That's Iranian features. So they were like, damn, see, we gonna get them Iranian features, we gonna straighten his hair out. But keep it as an afro. Right? Keep it as an afro. Make a long story short, if I tell y'all, go back, listen to me closely. Listen to me closely when I say this, because what I'm about to say, this finna mean a whole lot to me. What I'm about to say right now, and the thing, what I'm about to say now, I want you to look at your religion belief and be like, damn, this shit was so simple, and they just show you how powerful a cover up here. All right, check this out. All right, check this out. You see Jesus, but we already know this is a depiction of Jesus. When the Freemasons said, hey, symbols and signs, when they go back to symbols and signs, everybody don't know what symbols and signs really mean, but when you ask the people, like, what symbol and sign? Oh, yeah, you know, when we see the sun and... Look, fuck it. Make a long story short. You want to know why the sun is behind Jesus? You want to know why the sun is behind Jesus? Thumb me up. You see the sun behind Jesus. I'm finna show you how simple this shit is. Cause I done did so much research. And when I did some research, and bro, the shit that I found out, man, I actually cried. And when I cried, it wasn't no cry like, damn, I was misled, like, you know what I'm saying? It was a cry like, or joy like, damn, bruh, the whole time. All right. You want to know why You got the son behind Jesus, cause when Trey Gang went live a couple of hours ago, and I told y'all, I said, look, take the Old Testament and the New Testament. Take the New Testament as the Old Testament. And take the Old Testament, you know what I'm saying, like it's the New Testament. For a prime example, like, if you open your Bible right now, if you got a Bible, even if you ain't even got a Bible, if you listen to my voice, you got a Bible. Because you can pull up a Bible. You can pull up the Bible on your phone. And once you do that, this is what you need to do. Go, you know how when you first open the Bible, they said God created heaven and earth. Boom, boom, boom. This the beginning. And this how the world's created, and this how Noah, that. Counsel that. If you open the Bible and start from Jesus' birth, start from Jesus' birth. Cause guess what they was worshiping? Son of God. That's why they call him the Son of God. That's why you got the Son behind Jesus. Because if you read Jesus New Testament, if you read Jesus New Testament, it was all about when Jesus worship the sun. When I say worship the sun make plants grow. If it want the sun, Hermes gonna die. Right? This how Queen Elizabeth so cold with this shit. Boy, that bitch a duel. Man, that motherfucking bitch, bro. Look. If you always want to know, yeah, Trey Gang, you is right. I always seen the sun behind Jesus' head in all images. Why would the sun? Because you know what? In the beginning, like what the Bible said, God created heaven and earth. And he created light and lesser light, which means the sun and the moon. So Queen Elizabeth knew about Jesus because of her bloodline, right? So one thing she had to do, because you got witnesses, because at that time, everybody was worshiping the sun. If you go back to Ethiopia was the only race that depicted Jesus as black with an afro. So when you go back to the afro, it symbolized the sun. You know what I'm saying? And once it symbolizes the sun, and you look at what Jesus clothes, keep this in mind. You never seen Jesus wear no turban over his head like an Iranian? You know how Iranian dress with the head covers? Nothing. You know the white man, goddamn it, can't walk in the sun without bringing the bronze. Right? So that means that he can walk in that sun and keep it color. Look. So, if you did research, now you will see, check this out. This why white people pay top notch for this money, for art. Cause they will be like, look, Oh, that Jesus right there. Oh, they got the sun painted behind him. And then the average people be like, yeah, you know, he the son of God. And that's how the sun shine on the light. And that's how they try to fool you. This the light of God. And all this why the sun's shining behind them. But check this out. Don't you know what this really symbolizes? They go back to Egypt. Guess who was enslaved in Egypt? Guess who could handle the sun? That's why, goddamn it, you know what I'm saying, they were down in the fucking desert. Look. Gang gang. Watch this. Check this out. I done did so much research. This finna make sense. Cause don't y'all remember they said Jesus died on the cross, right? And keep this in mind, the cross wasn't invented till after Jesus' death. If you a Christian and religion, this go for the Muhammad, the Muslims, the Christians, you know, the evangelists, all on. You could all agree, yeah, the cross was invented round about Jesus' time, because the cross was never invented before Jesus. Is that a fact? Thumb me up. If that's fictional, thumb it down, and we can debate. We can debate. We can debate. Right? I'm just all right. Man, this is what I'm finna do for y'all. Cause I told y'all, I was like, y'all know I ain't no YouTuber. Y'all know I ain't got no mouthpiece like, you know what I'm saying, a YouTuber. They, you know, break shit down, you know, cause I got a peach experiment. I like to say, you know what I'm talking about? See what I'm saying? Hey y'all, Jack. Booyah! You know what I'm talking about? All that old shit, you know what I'm saying? That ain't professional at all, you know what I'm talking about? They ain't professional at all. They ain't professional at all, right? All I just say, look, bear with me. And you know I'm gonna slice the game up at the end, right? Since I asked y'all that question, check this out. I'm finna give y'all, this why he got the sun around his head. This why they had to lighten the skin up. This why they had to make the hair straight. This why they had to say, who painted the image in the first place of Jesus? What's his name? I know the name. Since y'all tuned in, who was the person that painted the image of Jesus? Who was the most famous painters at the time when they were painting Jesus' image? Matter of fact, let's read a little bit.
Jesus, c. 6 to 4 BC, 80, 30, or 33, also referred to as Jesus Christ, F. Jesus of Nazareth, and many other names and titles, was a first-century Jewish preacher and religious leader. 12. He is the central figure of Christianity, the world's largest religion. Most Christians consider Jesus to be the incarnation of God the Son and awaited Messiah, or Christ, a descendant from the Davidic line that is prophesied in the Old Testament. Virtually all modern scholars of antiquity agree that Jesus existed historically, G. Accounts of Jesus' life are contained in the Gospels, especially the 4 canonical Gospels in the New Testament. Since the Enlightenment, academic research has yielded various views on the historical reliability of the Gospels and how closely they reflect the historical Jesus. 20, aged 23, 24. According to Christian tradition, as preserved in the Gospels and the Acts of the Apostles, Jesus was circumcised at 8 days old, was baptized by John the Baptist as a young adult, and after 40 days and nights of fasting in the wilderness, began his own ministry. He was an itinerant teacher who interpreted the law of God.
So, when you hear this narrative, right, just look at the narrative like this in a different way. Cousin was battling for the throne. This what happened. Cousin was battling through the throne, who gonna be the queen? But they gotta perceive a son. Queen Elizabeth died a virgin. That's what they said, because you go look back at Queen Elizabeth, she was childless. But God in her favor blessed Mary, which is the cousin. So you don't see the plot that I gotta take out Jesus. If I take out Jesus, I can manipulate the world with my cousin King James and bring out the Bible after his death and say, hey, Jesus is the way, because it was the truth. Jesus is the way, but they murdered him. And the cold part about it, since they murdered him and knew Jesus was the way and he was the Messiah, the coldest thing you can do is say, praise Jesus. Now that's what I got a problem with. Cause you mean to tell me that I was raised about Jesus all this time and I come to find out that you set Jesus up just because you wanted the throne and you got the throne and you got the throne, and when you get the throne, you gave us Hollywood. You gave us movies, TV shows, music, and propaganda. And we love that fucking shit. And then we got to a point that like, man, you know, I want to know if Jesus, well, I'm a Christian. Jesus was real, and you know, but I question this, and you know, and I question this, and then my mama just died, and then why my mama had to die out of all people, God, and then you blaming God and all this old shit. You see what I'm saying? So, this what I'm basically saying. When it came to the Bible in the Genesis, in the book of Genesis, when they were like, yeah, go over there and kill all these women and kids and take over this land. Who had that ink pen at that time and said, God said this? If you know, if I'm a crooked cousin, and then I know, damn, God finna bless my other cousin with this baby, but I didn't want that money. I'm greedy as a motherfucker, so I gotta kill her. Cause if I kill her son, I'm automatic gonna be in royalty. You know what I'm saying? You don't see this shit, bro? You don't see this shit? And you say a Christian, if you say you a Christian, let's defend Jesus. Let's just defend Jesus and let's investigate a cover up murder. This shit real. Check this out. If Queen Elizabeth then kill. If she didn't set Jesus up, and if he was still living, guess what the world would be like? Guess what the world would be like if Jesus was never crucified and would sit here and preach what God and show you like, look, this is where I come from. Check it out. Look, what does this look like? Jesus, if I tell y'all gang, I was raised up in the church, and if you were raised up in the church, you know what your pastor told you about Jesus? And you know what your pastor told you about Abraham. You know when every time you went to church, you remember those sermons like it was yesterday. Oh, you remember Noah's Ark? When they come to Noah's Ark, what the pastor tell you? Always be prepared. Because when God warned Noah, told him to build the ark, because I'm finna destroy the world. This how the preacher talk. I ain't trying to sound like a preacher, but you know, since I've been in, you know, in the church, I can imitate these bastards. Y'all want me to imitate these bastards? You want me to imitate these bastards? I'm gonna imitate these bastards. And you know, goddamn it, Noah built that ark. God told him to go way down and get that wood. You need to go get some creeper wood. You know what I mean? Noah, like, yeah, I need to get some creeper wood. Like, yeah, go get some creeper wood, you know. Because they already killed Jesus. They already killed Jesus. So when you think about, damn, they already killed Jesus, you got the Noah Ark. That's why they fled on boat and landed on the Caucasus Mountain. Then you look at this shit different. How the way Trey Gang finna explain this shit. So check this out. Yeah, you know, build a boat, no. Oh, y'all finna build a boat. Build it out of the growth of wood. And this got to be this many inches long and this many foot. And guess what? I need you to grab 2 animals that's male and female, they can reproduce while the flood gonna take over. And guess how long the flood was? Guess how long the flood was? Man, this shit finna hit different. Cause check this out. To make a long story short, everything we believed in about Jesus, everything that we believe in about Jesus, right? This is what I want to show the world. Right here. When it comes to Queen Elizabeth, this what make you finna be. This what make you finna be like, man, I gotta praise Jesus even more. For the simple fact, the whole time when the Bible spoke about it's a Messiah coming, and he finna save the world. He finna say it's finna be a Messiah coming. That's where you get the prophecy from, right? Everybody know this. It's prophecies in the Bible, like, yeah, you know the Messiah coming, and he finna save the world from the demons. And from you bastards, from you redhead motherfuckers. See what I'm saying? Alright. Oh, yeah, I got an email. Boy, I got an email and I just read that junk. Woo! And then, and what I just read in the email, I can't do nothing but pat myself on the back. Cause I got a person in the email right now just hit me up that somebody, and that person said, don't call my name out, Trey Gang. You see my profile. And you know when you click on that profile, blue chick. When I saw that blue chick, oh yeah, that's real. Yeah, you real. You a fish. You got the blue chick. And guess what this person said? Guess what this person said? Trey Gang, you opening up a can of worms when you talk about the red heads. In case you don't know what's all about the redhead, this person said, you mentioning redheads and you going back to the Bible, you just show Henry. Prince Henry, Prince William, you know what I'm saying? Then you got to go back to Diana, the one that was in the car chase and got murdered. Man, I can't read all this shit, bro. Cause this shit I'm reading right now, I'm like, that's why Michael J. Y'all want to go back to Queen Elizabeth that's related to Mary, Jesus' mother? Thumb me up right now and let's get those lights up right now and let's go back to the lineage. Alright, let's do this right quick. What I meant right quick. I don't want that no more because I proved my point. This supposed to be Rose with the red hair, but all of a sudden when she get older, her hair turn white. You see what I'm saying? And if you look at this, this is all Jewish. All Jewish. 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 They created Hollywood. When they folks said, yeah, man, we is prophets and we could give visual. Them folks always said, we like gods, we can give them a visual of the afterlife. And I'm like, how the fuck that can happen? Guess what? Hollywood. Cause you ain't gotta do nothing but show a movie of the afterlife. And then everybody be like, yeah, man, I believe in the afterlife. You see what I'm saying? Hold up, watch this shit. The Titanic. Does the Titanic match up with Noah's Ark? That's why you had the Titanic ship. If you go back to how the Titanic was built, it was the same length. That's why they said the Titanic was the unsinkable ship. Shit. Why you think they call it Noah Ark and then you got the Covenant Ark? Do they ring a bell? Hi y'all. Who said that? Goddess. Hey Goddess. Don't that make sense? Do that make sense, Goddess? Shout out to Goddess. You got Noah's Ark in the Ark of Covenant. Make that make sense? I just want y'all to peep that game. Say it again, Trey Gang. Oh, man, you got the Titanic girl. All right. It's dealing with a boat. It's dealing with a boat. It's dealing with a boat. Then you got red hair. Look who the star on the boat. Look who was all the star on the boat and look at their image. Just like what I was just saying, look at their image. You can tell by their hair, their appearances, and guess where they coming from? Nobody never questioned where the Titanic coming from. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, Oh, it was none but rich people on their boat, but they ain't gonna tell you the black people on their boat, right? All right. Check this out. Watch this. Hold on, y'all. If you got the Titanic that's sinking, a Titanic that's sinking, think about Noah's Ark and the Ark of Covenant. And the History Channel was like, yeah, you know, we got jewel pieces that we discovered from the Ark. Hold up. I just want y'all to make this shit look different. Think about Noah's Ark in the Titanic. And look where Noah's Ark gonna land at. Caucasus Mountains. The Noah's Ark gonna land in Caucasus Mountain. Look at all the people that's playing the role in the movie. Caucasus Mountain people. Oh shit! Oh look! They got to shave their beard. That's why you got clean shaved white men. Cause look, you do not want to grow your beard out to look like cavemen. So when you go back to cavemen's, when they crucified Jesus, check this out. This is what it looked like when they crucified Jesus after the fact when they got civilized. If it weren't for Jesus, they would still be in caves. They would be in caves. They would still don't know how to wash themselves. The History Channel showed everybody and said, yeah, let's do a history. How did the medieval poop back in the days? Meaning, how they took a shit back in the day. It wasn't no pipe system. They said, yeah, you know, the queen of this and the king of that. You know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers was so nasty, goddammit. You know what I'm talking about? Shit. If you can't comprehend what I'm saying now, I swear to God, man, I'ma pray for you. And I'm like, man, I'ma do the best that I can to reach you. You see what I'm saying? Cause at this point, I realized that I'm like, man, you know what? It be some people, you know what I'm saying, that didn't come from the same cloth. Just like everybody ain't raised together. Y'all know how, like I'm saying, I'm hood. Yeah, Trey Gang hood, Trey Gang gangster. But you got black people that never been in the neighborhood before. Cause they black people raised them, you know, they got a little money, you know what I'm saying? They raised them, you know what I'm saying, on the other side. So they will never relate. And it ain't even nothing wrong with that. Cause if you had a clear mindset, that's the mindset that you want. Cause have you noticed that? If you look at it like this here, can I name all the actresses, movie stars that had blonde hair, blue eyes, and red hair that was all famous from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and all of this? And when you read the Bible again, you'll be like, Esau. I know the story Esau. Oh, they making movies. Only people that can make these movies is Esau descendants. You see what I'm saying? Esau descendant, and then look. Look who be interested in and look at the clothes they wear. That's the cold part about it. And this is what got me mad, cause the things that I found out, white people would challenge you on this shit. This is what white people would do. That's racist. That's know what's going on. They'll ask you little simple shit like, look, like him. Look at everybody at the dinner table, right? Look at everybody in the background. None but rich people. This like a yacht, right? You don't see no slave, right? You don't see no slave. But if you look at the ancestors, you got red hair people there, people with white woolly hair, right? Check this out. Look what you see. Look what you see in the movie. This shit finna hit different. Look, watch this shit finna hit different. Oh, that's what the Israelites were doing. So the red hair were also having sex with the boy. Oh, hold up. Y'all remember Jack? Why Jack hair ain't red? Notice his shit white. So check this out. This is what I learned about the Bible, the shit that I found out. Since you know about the red-haired giants, they come from Esau, right? They come from Esau. Look at the story about Esau.
Animals and spent time outside. Their dad, Isaac, was a big meat eater, so Esau was his favorite. Jacob, on the other hand, was a quiet guy who liked to stay indoors. Their mom, Rebecca, liked Jacob the best. The Bible doesn't talk much about Jacob and Esau as kids, but we do know Esau was lucky to be the oldest because he had what's called a birthright. That meant Esau would be in charge of their family, including all their money, land, and stuff. Jacob would probably have to work for his brother Esau, and their dad Isaac would give Esau a blessing, which means Isaac would ask God to take care of his oldest son Esau in an extra special way. Well, you probably think Esau was pretty excited about this, but he wasn't. In fact, one day he gave it up. He'd just returned from a hunting trip. Since he was out killing animals all day, he didn't have time to eat. He came home starving. Jacob was making stew, so Esau said, "Quick, give me some of that stew. I'm very hungry." Now, Jacob was a little sneaky.
Now keep this in mind. Now you see how the Bible perpetrate like, give me some of that stew, I'm hungry, and all of this. But the whole time they in the royal family, they ain't starving. Look who had control of the pen and the paper at this time. Queen Elizabeth trying to overthrow Mary so Mary won't claim the queen. See what I'm saying? Did the Messiah come down through Elizabeth bloodline or Mary bloodline? Guess who Jesus came through the bloodline of who? Elizabeth or Mary? So if you believe Jesus came in Mary bloodline, now you see why the red-haired people that's queens and royalty had to hate on Jesus. And make it so bad. Why they doing all of this? Put it like this here. They say Trey Gang got a baby about put Put it like this here. Trey Gang got a baby by an Ethiopian lady. And I'm a African, right? So an African breed with an Ethiopian lady, right? Guess what that baby gonna look like? An African and an Ethiopian. Like, you know what a pit mixed with a pit, if you know what a pit bull mixed with a shih tzu, you know what that shit finna come out like, right? But what if Trey Gang have sex? What if I have sex and breed my bloodline with a redhead? How would my baby would come out? How would my baby come out if I had sex with a white woman? Alright. How would my baby would come out if I had sex with a Chinese? I'm saying all this shit to make a point. Just to do reverse psychologists, everybody know their nationality in the chat, right? Now, I never met y'all before. I don't know what y'all raising as. You could be an Indian, a Hindu, and all this. Put it like this here. If you white and a black person breed with you, you finna get a mixed child. If you black and mix with a Chinese, what child you finna get? If you black, Chinese, mix, and you mix with a European, what that child gonna look like? If you mix with okay, I got DNA test. So they saying I'm from South Africa and I got European bloodline in me, and I stay over here in this area, and they said I got this in me. So okay, yeah, I'm mixed with 3 types of bloodline. One thing I noticed that you're gonna have 3 bloodlines in you. You're gonna have 3 bloodlines in you. For a prime example, the last time I checked, I ain't even African. I'm mostly mixed with Indian. This shit finna sound crazy. Just imagine if you did a DNA test and the whole time before you got that DNA test, you said you were African. But the whole time, you more Indian than African. And I'm like, damn, if the white man said I'm more African than Indian, why would the white man say I'm more African than Indian? Maybe there's a cover for the slave trade. And maybe he needs you to say, hey, yeah, I'm African. But in reality, I'm really Indian. And they was bringing Africans over here, and the Indian will bring African. This is what you call slave trade. Fuck you talking about? Fuck you talking about? When I get through breaking this shit down, you know what do you know what an Indian look like? Your grandmama watched Indian movies. I remember I used to watch my goddamn, you know what I'm saying? My people watch Western movies. They dealing with Indians. Shit. Ain't nothing you can tell me no more now. Once the truth revealed, ain't no more fooling me on TV. Shit. Man, this shit so deep. Check this out. Esau Jacob. I ain't got to play this video no more. Cause you know what the red hairs look like. Now you finna know, Jacob, Esau, that's why it was about a birthright. If you don't understand this, Esau and Jacob and the birthright, Now you see why. Look at this image. Look at this image. Birthright. And by these people got control of the birthright, look who rich. Look. Matter of fact, check this out. This the cold part about it. Look how much clout Queen Elizabeth got. Instead of Jesus' own mama. You see how Elizabeth got? This bitch died. This bitch done made slavery movies, and they depict this bitch in slave movies like, yeah, sell these motherfucking black niggers. Motherfucking niggers, sell these niggers, and we gonna sell these niggers to the Mexicans. We're gonna sell these niggers everywhere. Right? That's Mary Cousin. That's the movie we said we love Roots. I never love Roots again. Any slave movie that Hollywood come out, I never watch it. Just because what I know right now. Matter of fact, you know what? Matter of fact, this is what I'm finna do. This is what I'm finna do. Watch this, y'all. Check this out. Hold on. I'm finna exit out of this. This same lyric. If you been watching me, you know, oh yeah, I know who this is. Trey Gang, exit out of that. Okay. Yeah, Trey Gang, we know what you said about this. All right, I'm finna exit out of this shit. Yeah, Trey Gang, we know this Jesus and shit. We already know about. That's why he got the son behind him, but they permits her like he a pimp or something. You know what I'm talking about? And then what Jesus would be holy, and you know, this ain't no holy Bible. This gotta be another teaching. All right, this is another teaching, right? All right, check this out. I'm gonna exit out of this goddamn shit. And check this out. Oh, who this supposed to be, right? Is this Joseph? Jesus adopted daddy. Some of y'all in the chat know that feeling that you fucking with your, you know what I'm saying, your little boo thing, you know what I'm saying, but you know, when you met her, she already had kids and shit. You might met her, she already pregnant, you know what I'm saying? It was the perfect time for you, like, damn boy, I see you thick, fine. She was like, damn, you know, I'm about like 2 months, 3 months pregnant and stuff, and you know what I'm saying, and he's serious about it. He gonna stick around, but like, yeah, you know what I'm talking about, and play the stepdaddy, you know what I'm talking about. Even if you an old ass man, you know what I'm talking about, with white hair and shit, cause you know when you got white hair and shit, you know you well in your 60s and 70s. You know what I'm talking about? Shit, back in my day, we call this an old man, baby. You know what I'm talking about? So when you look at this image again, why his hair red and his hair blonde? I mean, white. And you know who the mother is. If you were educated, that's why, check this out, that's why the white people always can beat us on who you really is. You the only one can't trace your history back. Yeah, that's why we call you black. You know what I'm saying? When you ask white person, them white person be like, yeah, you know, my family heritage came from England. And you know, right there, right about Rome, you know what I'm talking about, and then we ain't a pure bloodline though, but we was breed with this group. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Check this out. Is it out of this Jesus? They said Jesus was born on the 6th of the 1st century. In the 4th of the first century. If you don't know what the first century is, the first century would be like, they're going to start out the new year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you keep counting all the way up. So that means you got a timestamp on Jesus. Like, okay, what time Jesus was born? Oh no, Jesus was born in the first century, between the 4th and 6th year. When he died around about 30, 33. Oh, let me investigate that timestamp alone and see what I come up with. This where y'all come in there. Y'all investigate that timestamp alone. If this where you do algebra. Ooh-wee. If this is the first century and it started off with 1. You got 6 to 4 years later, and they said, yeah, he died between the a year of 30 or 33. Now you got a timestamp when he actually died and how old he was. Because in the Bible, it told you what time he died, right? Shit. Man, that's for the Christians. You could be a devil worshiper and agree with me on that. Shit. Guess what time the Bible said? What time Jesus, when the crow croaked? You remember that narrative? What time the crow croaked? Shit. Shit. So you got Jesus, boom. Then you got John the Baptist. Keep this in mind. John the Baptist is supposed to baptize him. But look when John the Baptist was born. BC 6, it would make sense that if Jesus was born on the 6th BC, that's why they said John the Baptist will be born with Jesus and look just like him on the 6th. And he also died on the 30th. Man, I got so much tea on this shit. Man, I got so much tea on this shit, bro. This finna change. Man, check this out. The shit I'm finna tell you, bruh, you can challenge any preacher in the world and you gonna expose it. And you finna expose it. Even if you go to church every Sunday and you like, yeah, church, yeah, I go to church every Sunday and I've been fucking with this pastor for years now, or a couple of months. This pastor here legit. But I bet you I give you some of this tea, boy, that's gonna let you know who your pastor really is. If I show you when Jesus was crucified, right? That's a fact. Look when John the Baptist was died. The year 30. Before Jesus died. Look at his hair color. And it's red. And he looked like Jesus. Right? You seen the image. Trey Gang, you showed right. Then you showed us the Titanic. Then you showed her Queen goddamn Elizabeth, and she got red hair. You showed her Prince Charles, they got red hair. You telling us about goddamn it, what's the damn, what's their name again? With the in the Bible. Not Cain and Abel, but damn. The red hair, goddamn it. Esau. Red hair. Then I showed y'all all the people that's in power that got red hair. That's all I want to know. Red hair. Guess what? When it come to red hair, look who King James related to. Don't you know, if you a Christian, we all know this for a fact. The King James Version is the only holy Bible that Christians need to read. Thumb me up if you a Christian and you heard it, seen it with your own eyes, like, you know, this is a real King James Version. Don't fuck the New International or the New English Version. King James Version is the real deal. If you thumb me up right now, you got to really thumb me up like, damn, Trey Gang, you fucked me up with that one. That's why King James came with the Bible with the 1611 edition, cause he was related to Queen Elizabeth, and he the cousin of Queen Elizabeth and Mary. So when you look at who's supposed to be on the throne, when it comes to I believe, Jesus said, I'm the way. I am the way. Have faith in me and believe in me. But his family member, guess what they said? Oh, believe in this and keep the old law. Man, it's... Bro! This shit is crazy! This is like this here. Trey Gang and Straight Drop on the Kaniga Jingen case, right? If you want to know the truth, follow Trey Gang. If you want to follow fictions, cloud chasing, all that, follow Straight Drop. You get more entertained out of Straight Drop, right? But you get the truth from Trey Gang. This is different. When shit gets serious, look at the people that believe like, yeah, you know, I'm a Straight Drop fan. And I've been watching him just like people like I've been watching Trey Gang. And I just fuck with Trey Gang. I don't fuck with nobody else. And you had once upon a time be like, yeah, I fuck with Straight Drop. And that's the only person I follow. Right? The reason why I said that, because I'm like, man, look. If you stop, put it like this here. This is why Trey Gang here. If I would have never just sat down and thought like this, like, I like Cops movie. I mean, TV show. Everybody raised about Cops, Apollo, you know what I'm talking about, America Most Wanted, before the internet came out. Before the internet came out, when you see police chase, you saw that shit on America Most Wanted. You want no internet out. If you want to see some funny ass videos, we ain't had the internet then. You had to watch America a funny video. Yeah, you had to watch some goddamn white people and shit, you know what I'm talking about? They hang the star up, honey, on the treetop, and she tried to cram and put the crown on the motherfucker. She fell, and that's funny. She fell, and like, I'm like, that wasn't never funny to me, because I took a hard fall to that before. You know what I'm talking about? I remember when cops came out in the 90s and showed you traffic stops. And if you watch Cop, y'all know bad boy, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Who was raised up on that? Thumb me up. If you thumb me up, if you were raised on that shit, now you see how they violate a nigga rights on that motherfucker. Cause if you look at your rights, what you got now, and you go back to, damn, I used to watch 911 Rescue, 911 Cops, you know what I'm talking about? And man, look at them folks that jump out of the car and hop on niggas and shit, talking about, yeah, come here, nigga. Since we don't know the law, we looking like, damn, man, they fucking with Cuz. Man, we know Cuz got some dope on him, you know what I'm saying? We know Cuz got dope on him. He just don't know the law. But since the police know the law, since he know he got dope on him, that's why they harassing him. That's why they harassing him. You know what I'm saying? And when they harassing him, and next thing you know, a nigga talking about, yeah, man, you know what I'm saying, man, dope ain't even mad. Well, we found it on you and all this. Well, he gonna take the child. Like, how much time I'ma get? I got caught with what, couple of grams? Yeah, fuck you up. Know what I'm talking about? Check this out. Watch this, y'all. This is what I want to show y'all. And what I'm about to show y'all, just look at it like, Trey ain't go live. Trey ain't got all this shit pulled up. John the Baptist, you know what I'm talking about? John the Baptist look like Jesus though. But God damn it, Jesus image it look like, cause we know what the Revelation said. What Jesus looked like? Oh yeah, you know he was bronze. Oh, you mean to say Jesus was black? No, not black, but bronze. Like this bronze. Oh. If he was this bronze, then why they say he was a flame of fire then? Cause you know, if you don't cover yourself, like your foots and shit, that's why they said, damn, you know his foot was like flaming fire. They wear sandals. They got sandals on. So yeah, his feet finna burn up like a motherfucker, goddamn it. You know what I'm talking about? So that would make sense. I can relate to that. Cause I'm like, damn, that means his skin would change in the sun. So that means if I look into his history, and if he blended in with Ethiopian and Iranian, right? Ethiopian, Iranian, I ain't gonna name the other third race that will be in them. Won't you think that, damn, that means if Jesus' skin color, that's why they said his foot was made of bronze in a flaming fire. That's the Ethiopian skin tone. That's all. Ethiopian skin tone, but check this out. Your mother is a Jew. So when she had you, even though you mix with Ethiopian, Iranian, and the Georgia Jews. This is what you're gonna look like now. Man, this shit so crazy, gang. Look. Let's start out with April Fool's Day. Guess what April Fool's Day? April the 1st, right? Where it originated from? April Fool was the foolish day from who? I don't know why nobody can't see when you think about, check this out. And I want y'all to listen to when I say this. You remember the 12 tribes of Israel? Trey Gang did some research. And when Trey Gang did some research on the 12 tribes of Israel, right? This is just the 12 tribes of Israel alone. I can ask a couple of people in the chat, but like, you know who the 12 Israel tribes is? The first thing you're gonna be like, it's us, Trey Gang, cause we the Hebrew people, and you know what I'm saying? And God spoke to us, and he said he gonna give us the promised land. What if I told you there was a lie? Look, what if I told you that everything that your preacher told you was like, God said, have faith. And what if Trey Gang was like, oh, your pastor said have faith. Why would you gotta have faith in a God that already believe in you? Why would you need to pray to a God that's already forgive you for your sin? If God already forgive you for your sin, you like, damn, I ain't even committed a sin yet. I'm not needing that type of person to fuck everybody. I'm not that type of person that, you know what I'm saying, to commit a sin. I'm not just saying that I'm all perfect. But if I ain't sleeping with somebody, wife, husband, right? Doing strange activities, right? When you think about God's law, you be like, yeah, you know, thou shalt not sleep with the neighbor husband. What if you ain't doing that? God said, you know what I'm saying, don't eat this type of food and swine. What if you ain't eat no swine? What if God say, hey, don't do this and don't do that, and you ain't doing none of that? What if you get up every day in the morning, just say your regular routine, I got to be at work at 5, so I got to wake up at 3:30 and 4 in the morning, get dressed, shit shaving bays, you know what I'm saying, and I'm at the work. Boom. I work so much, goddamn it, so much. Goddamn it, I ain't even got a man. I ain't even got time to see him. I'm at work all day long. That's how I found out. I was like, wait a minute. Shit, I'm being so tricked. Goddamn it. And Trey ain't a workaholic. And I'm like, damn, I done got me a job that worked 12-hour shift, and then I got a second job. So when I work these 12-hour shifts, when I get off this work, I got to go to the next work, and boom. And when I get off that job, I can sleep for a couple of hours and do it all over again. You see what I'm saying? Don't you know how many times if I want to commit a sin, I couldn't do it? Because I had to work so much. See, when I cash my goddamn paycheck, I got to go to work. Yeah, you know it's Friday. Goddamn, they said I got to work goddamn Saturday. Man, you work so much, you can't even spend your paycheck like how you want it. That's the perfect time to save. You know what I'm about? So if you hear my voice, and if you understand what I'm saying, you got to collaborate with that. Like, yeah, Trey Gang, you got to be real, because when you said that, bro, you ain't lying about that. Man, look, I worked at McDonald's, and I know what that check like every month. Just imagine that little cheap ass little money. Man, look, man, you finna go get some kush, alcohol, and go clubbing with that shit. You see what I'm saying? But when you get older than this shit, and you like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Shit. That's when you get older and shit. Like, when you get used to a job, you showing up every day complaining. Like, damn, I see this shit. Man, I ain't coming back to... And no, you come back. No, you come back like a mother. Check this out. Check this out, y'all. Y'all remember when I was talking about the Kanika Jinky case? Trey Gang was the first one that was exposing the timestamp. Right? That's proven fact. That's history. Now that's history. Because when Trey Gang was exposing the timestamp, just say if you were new to the game, you would be like, yeah, damn, you know what I'm saying? He said something about the timestamp, but well, I got my own opinion on it. But you've been down for a while, you can understand, like, oh yeah, man, you need to catch on that timestamp, because that's when shit was going on. So to make a long story short, let me show you this shit, bro. Bloody Mary. Watch this. Ah, they're gonna tell me about the drink. Okay, hold up. Man, god damn. Why in the fuck, bro? Why they won't show me this shit? Man. Hold up, bro. Let me do it like this here so I can kill all this shit. I'm finna kill, goddamn it, the image of Jesus. I'm gonna kill the goddamn grandmama. This Mary, the mother of Jesus. Hold on. If this the mother of Jesus, right? This gonna show you proof that I know what I'm talking about. Watch this. The first century. Ain't this the first century? So that means when Jesus was born, between the year of 6th century of the 4th century. Let me phrase it. It's the first century, but it's the year 6 or the year 4. Do it sound like Trey ain't know what he talking about now? Mary, 1st century? Hold on, watch this. Let me kill this narrative.